like about 5 feet, 6 feet apart. That's how big this tree was. We leaned the K2s up against the tree, and we started asking. Nothing. Finally, I got to the point where I was like, well, maybe this is a spirit or whatever that might not want us here. So I'm going to have to ask the big question. Now, you always have to, if you're out, you always have to have respect for whatever you're doing. And if whatever it is does not want you there, does not want you there. They don't
I'll be right
want
back.
you there. That's it, period. You either leave or you continue, and then you pay the consequences, whatever they may be. I finally said, if there's anybody here and you don't want us to be here, please light up the meters. No sooner than I said that, both of them, full scale, right to the pin, flashing incredibly fast, right to the pin. People started screaming in the back of us, and they ran into the woods. It actually answered us. It did not want us to be there, and that was the first time we got such an aggressive response. It's very hard to light these meters up, even with a lot of power, even with the stations or whatever. If you're transmitting and stuff, it's very hard to light them up. But that thing went right to the pin, both of them. And we left. That was it for then. But that was one instance where we got a very large hit on the EMFs, and we were told to leave. Now that's the first one. So there's another story, and I'll let you know about that one in a little bit. But that's the first one. So we got a response, and the response was, go.
Jeez. Oh, man. Great job. I wish I could say that to some people.
Background here, and how did you get into this, and explain that EMF meter thing that you've got?
I hear somebody talking in the background here. I'm not sure what's going on. Maybe the band's going along. How did I get into this? I got into this because I have young boys, and my two sons, 3 sons, but one of them's not interested in it at all. And I also have their friend Joey, and they were always interested in watching ghost hunters and stuff like that. And I thought, you know what? They seem interested in this. Why don't we just dabble? We'll play around a little bit. We'll get we'll go dabble in this a little bit. This is probably about 7-8 years ago. So I bought an EMF meter, and Joey bought an EMF meter, and we started learning, started doing the ropes, and we started going out and doing this stuff. But that's how we got into it. I did it because, the boys seem interested in it. And they're not afraid of anything, as far as that's concerned. And it seemed like something cool to do. That's how we got into it. And ever since then, it's grown, and I've met other people in the industry. My one, John, from my friend that lives around the corner here, travels all around the country. He's even been on TV on some of the hunts, with some of the bigger groups that do it, that actually do it on TV. He just came back from Arizona or something about a month ago. He had gone out there for a week and did a hunt out there. So we met at a Wawa. I just happened to be saying something. He says, "Really, get out of here," because I have a big website, and that's what I do. And we started doing some stuff with him. So it's progressed over the years. We don't get to go out as much as we used to because life gets in the way, but we do still go out. And we got some other stuff that we're looking at. Trying to find a spot is the hardest thing. We have people asking us to do houses for them and other things. So we might start doing a little more. It seems that this time of year is a good time to do it. So we take our time and make a little list of all of them, and we try to do them all for the people. And whatever they want to know. Is it one of our members of our family? Is it something we should worry about? And we try to go in there and find out for them if this is something that's going to be a problem for them, or if it's just maybe a residual haunt or whatever. So that's how we got into it.
And how about how this EMF meter thing works? You told the ghost to light up the lights. How would they know how to do that, and what is this thing?
I don't know. I don't know. An EMF meter, you can look it up. EMF meter, ghost hunting EMF meter. It basically picks up RF. It's a wideband RF, probably something like a diode or whatever else. I never even opened it up. I never looked inside. With a couple of amplifiers and a bunch of LED lights. The lights, the higher the signal, the more lights it lights up. And let me tell you something. It takes a lot to light up all the lights. It's not as sensitive as you think it is. So it's an RF meter. How do they know how to light it up? I don't know. Are they watching us? Do they understand English? If we tell them lights, do they know what lights are? You show it to them. When you have it in your hand, you point to it and say, these lights here, these red lights, light these up for me. And however it's done, I don't know. But that's how we explain it to, whomever we're talking to actually light the lights up. And it seems that there's not a problem with that because it works every time you do it. We had actually in Jake's house, we did about a month ago, in his living room, we had a response to questions we asked, actually. So Jake is worried about it, but I told him don't worry about it because it's not a malicious spirit, so don't worry about it. But you can have malicious spirits, and you kind of got to weed them out. If you do, then you worry. You don't want to mess around with that stuff.
You can get rid of them.
Of doing that, and maybe Steve even knows, but maybe he even knows more than I do. But I've been doing it for quite a few years, and I've never tried to get rid of any malicious spirits, but that's how it's done, and that's what the K2 EMF is. So there you go.
Yeah, either they're supposed to head into the light or head away from the light. I can't remember which.
Oh, that's poppycock.
Nah, it's just they light it up. I don't know how they do it, Phil. I have no idea, but there's supposedly spirits can produce. They draw power. We've had batteries actually go dead of a camera that we brought with us, fully charged, and we brought it out, and when we were using it, went completely dead while we were using it. So supposedly they draw power from here, there, or wherever, and they use that power to transmit, whatever. I'm not sure.
One of these EMF devices at home, have you tried turning it on and seeing what it does when you key up?
Yeah, actually, I have one right in front of me here, sitting on the desk.
Okay, all right, very good. It's fun. The trouble is
That was a cool story. I just looked up EMF meters. They sell them on Amazon. W2PHL.
Thought that'd be electromotive force meter.
Okay. Oh, look at that. All right, it's two greens, a yellow, and an orange, and a red, and it modulates as I talk.
I had a kiwi farm just outside of Chico, and Durham is just...
I think since Steve is on frequency and he's got one of my favorite extraterrestrial and supernatural net night stories, maybe Steve, if you want to present the blue hand thing, I'd love to hear that.
I got burned out because...
Yeah, but I think everybody's already heard it.
Oh, come on, it never gets old.
Shelter of one sort or another.
Or is there anybody on frequency who doesn't want to hear it?
Nice transmission, you were perfect.
I don't think that's the case. Good evening, Steve. No, I've never heard it.
Play it in, Steve.
Doesn't want to hear it.
All right, everybody wants to hear it. Make sure I'm not doubling. All right, this is a real thing that happened. It involved me and my son and my first wife. It's WA1QI extra remote control for ID on Route 9. So, going to sleep at night, or I was asleep, woke up. I have no idea what time it was. It was nighttime. And I saw this blue hand jutting out of the closet. I said, oh, shit, something in the closet. I went back to sleep. Forgot about it in the morning. Next night, same thing. Blue hand jutting out of the closet. Just right out, right there. Oh, shit. Something's in the closet. Third night, blue hand, it's really hot. So in the morning, I remembered at that time. I said to my wife, I said, "What did you put in the closet? There's some kind of an attachment in there." And she goes, "Well, I put a hat box in there, and it's got a hat." And I said, "Get rid of the damn thing." I said, "It's got an attachment. There's a blue hand I see coming out of the closet." She was kind of used to that sort of thing because I've seen lots of things. Anyway, so presumably she got rid of it, and I forgot about it. Sleep, no blue hand, didn't even. I actually forgot about it. Next morning, my 3-year-old came downstairs and rubbing his eyes. I said, "Hi, sweetie." And I said, "Daddy, I saw a blue hand coming out of the ceiling of my bedroom." And my wife says, "Oh my God." I said, "Where did you put that thing?" She goes, "I put it up in the attic, right over his room." I said, "You got to get rid of the damn thing." So that's the blue hand, and that's a factual. That really happened.
So how'd you get rid of it?
W3.
She got rid of it, and I don't know what she did with it. I don't know if she gave it away or whatever, but it's gone.
So this hat, she got this from, where did the hat come from?
Well, the hat box and the hat in it came from a yard sale. Curiously enough, it came from a yard sale on Main Street in Townsend, which leads me into another interesting story. And Joseph and I were at a yard sale. We went to yard sales all the time at a house on Main Street. I don't think it was the same one where the hat came from because it was, a year later or so. Anywho, so Joseph and I were up in the attic. Yeah, Joseph was older now. It was at least 5 years. He was probably, like 9 or 10 at the time. So we're up in the attic of this house, and Joseph looks and says, "Daddy, you see that?" And I looked, and there's a woman standing. I said, "Yeah." I said, "What do you see?" He said, "There's a woman standing there, all in white." I said, "Yeah, I see her too. She looks friendly." And so there's this house, right? There's this woman there. Well, we knew the family who bought that house. So George Sullivan got this house because it needed a lot of work. And he was renovating it. He renovated it and blah, and he sold it to the Beauchets, who live in Townsend to this day. And every person who lives in that house has seen that white woman except for the mother. The mother can't see her, but everybody else has.
Whoa.
K1 KBW.
So there you go. It's real for you non-believers.
Hey, Steve, I want to. Did the chat room crowd on your 3885 chat room wants to know if your wife ever wore that hat.
Oh no, she just collected, junk, antiques and old clothes and stuff like that. She actually never wore it.
Sounds like the grist for an episode of The Twilight Zone.
That house in Maine that I was talking about, let me see if I got it here. That house in Maine that we're going to go to is an attachment to a boudoir. Moved into the house, and now strange things are happening in the house. This is a true story also. So, there is attachments to things, and that is absolutely true.
Hello, radio.
Hey, Bob, I hear you coming in well, and I heard Perry too.
Oh, I didn't know if I was getting out. It keyed up a couple times. Yeah, how about when I was sitting there in your kitchen, I saw that old lady with that babushka and walk up in the door and up the stairs. I could see her. I could see the door right through her.
Babushka.
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 Yeah, I didn't see that one, but I've never seen her, but you did. I remember that. Yeah, Bob said, "Steve, did you see that?" I said, "No, I didn't." It's an old woman walked right up the stairs.
Which house, Steve? Your new one? The one you're in now?
Yep, the new one. I mean, I've seen stuff coming, stuff passes through. I mean, that's just normal life, but that woman I've never seen.
Okay, yeah, because I was going to say the house wasn't bought secondhand, so that's interesting. There might have been something in the area. We're having a problem at a house down south that we keep going back to where there's a graveyard across the street, and we get passer-throughs.
Young Sam and Andy God trying to open.
Yep, Sherry and I looked at our lake house, make sure I'm not doubling. And there was a cemetery right next to it, and the house, we're not interested. The house, it still gives me the creep. The house felt really strong with spirits. I mean, really, you could just feel them there, and we did not get a good feeling from that place at all. And I didn't even want to deal with it. And I had, steeled myself. I don't feel like interacting with anything that's there. Yeah, there's some stuff on our honeymoon. That's kind of interesting. So we're getting ready. We're in bed, getting ready to fall asleep, and I see this man looking at me with his face like a bit contorted, like, you can see me. What are you doing here? And I said, go away. This is my honeymoon. So he came back about 5 minutes later, and I saw him. He was right next to me. He's like a foot away from my face. I said, get out of here. I actually spoke to him. Get out of here. I'm on my honeymoon. And he did it again. I finally said, look, it's my honeymoon. I need to get some sleep. I won't try to exercise you. I won't do anything. I won't bother you. You have to not bother me. So if you're going to bother me, I'm going to do an exorcism. And I never saw him again. But that was at the Wachusett. What was the name of that place? The Wachusett Inn was an old ancient building at the foot of Mount Wachusett. And now that inn is the weirdest thing. It's like a sanatorium for insane people. And I'm thinking to myself, what worse place can you put a sanatorium for insane people than in a haunted building where some of them are likely to see the friggin' ghosts, and the people who are stupid are going to say there's no such thing.
You guys would like the documentary Sir No Face.
I think the guy was looking at you funny because you were on your honeymoon and you were trying to go to sleep.
That's a good one. I like that one, Steve. Hey, Bob. How you doing?
Yeah, pretty good. I just came down here and put you guys on. Figured I'd get in there and get one. Yeah, I was sitting in Steve's kitchen, and he was facing me, so he didn't see it. And I'm looking at the door as you come in from the outside, and this woman she didn't open the door was closed. She walks through the door. I could see the door right through her, and she looked at me. She just kind of floats right up the staircase upstairs. I said, Steve, you see that?
Yeah, it must be a passer-through, because Steve built that house new, so that's a passer-through. have to catch that one. Perry, do you remember the lighthouse? The lighthouse on the Ghost Hunters. Do you remember when they looked up? That has to be one of the creepiest ones I've seen. You looked up and that thing looked back down at you. Yeah, it's one of the best ones I've seen, which actually made my hair on the back of my neck stand up. That was a good one.
Yeah,
I think that's one of the reasons Grant left, because I think it started. They started, doing funny business. But that was one of the early ones, the Lighthouse. So I remember that one.
Yeah, they were good when they first started, but then they started, they're getting too commercialized and it got too phony.
QC2UDZ. Yeah, when we go out, we go to disprove, not prove.
WA1QIX remote control for ID.
Well, that's the way it should be. You should be going out to try to disprove it, and if you can't disprove it, oh well. K1 KBW.
If you see a ghost, it is unmistakable. It's like there is no doubt what you're seeing.
I'm ready for another Ken story.
Yeah, I'll have to tell you about the little girl.
Well, okay, we're waiting.
Geez, I'm on it. Okay. Hope I don't have too much noise in the background here. I got the door open. It's hot in the shack. Anyway, same place, Friendship, at the foundations. This was actually before the tree, when we did the tree. Carrie's sister was with us. She was horrible. Well, I would never take her again. She would just make fun of us. But anyway, she was with us. And about 5 or 6 other people. Now, I had told you that we had done the foundations at Friendship. There was 6, I think. 6, including the mill. Well, the first foundation in the front, we had a couple of hits on. We were talking at the bottom of the foundation with 2 of us would go down inside the foundation, and we would talk and ask questions and whatnot. And we got a couple of blips, well, not too much. So we decided to move to the third foundation. The second one was a little rough to get into because it had caved in. There was wood in there and everything else, so we didn't bother going into that one. Well, the third foundation was pretty easy to get down into. And standing in there, the top of the foundation was above your head, so you're pretty deep in this hole. And we had everybody out of the foundation on the top, looking down inside. It was me and it was Joey again. Joey and I usually work as a team together. We do well together. We started asking the normal questions, and we started getting some hits on the EMF meter. So we actually got to the point where we were asking questions and explaining to it. Of course, like I said before, when you tell them, one light and or two full sweeps on a light. In other words, you can light them up. You can make them blink once, or you can make them blink twice on the EMF. And we would explain that you would have to make it blink twice for no and one for yes. And we were actually in a complete conversation. We asked if it was a male. We got no. We asked if it was a female, and we got our answer yes. We asked how old she was. We got everything. And this is a complete conversation. This was one-on-one, asking questions and getting correct answers. And then stopping. You have to stop once in a while just to make sure, and you get nothing. It's off. And then you continue your questions again. But we had a conversation with a 12-year-old girl in that foundation for about 20 minutes.
But nobody saw anything. That's interesting.
Yeah, they got the EMF meters all over eBay. They range from 25 to $30
camera when we did Jake's house, which was about a month ago. We got something by the kitchen sink. This house was built in the 1800s, early 1800s. He just bought. He's fixing it up right now. Actually, we were helping him out fixing it up, and he wanted us to come down and do the hunt down at his house. So we did that. We got a little bit on the full spectrum in front of the kitchen sink. I kind of blew it off as a glare off of the stainless sink. John kind of thought it was something. I'm not sure, so it's up in the air. But we also had a definite conversation with a passer-through from the graveyard across the street. It was only about for a minute, though. We had everybody in the room. Everybody. There was about 12 people, and everybody sitting and being quiet. And we had a conversation for about a minute or two with a woman. So that was another one. So, when you ask a question and you get a full-scale EMF reading, it has to be real. I mean, there's nothing else that'll set it off full scale. Even the phone, if you take your phone and you move it right up to next to it, it'll only light it up maybe a bar or two. So it was definitely a conversation.
Yeah, they got them all over eBay. They range from 26 to $30. They're not expensive.
Yeah, I've had mine for a long time. But we've been doing this for a while. John has most of the equipment. We work along with him. He is South Jersey Paranormal. And he has a website. I think it's on, it's on Facebook website, South Jersey Paranormal. He goes all around the country. He ghost hunts with a lot of the bigger names, probably people you even know. I don't know their names personally myself. I don't really put that much time and effort into it, but into knowing the other people besides our team and John's team. But he has everything. We have he has all the recorders as far as video recorders, full spectrum cameras, REM pods, everything. Absolutely everything. Everything you saw that they had on Ghost Hunters, he has.
And again, I'm looking at one right here on eBay. It's $26.50, free shipping, and it's in Jersey. So you can have it in a couple of days.
Yeah, they're all over the place. You can buy them. They used to be a little harder to get, but now they're pretty easy. A lot of people build them.
Oh, they got kits and stuff, or somebody got schematics for them?
What methodology do you use to get rid of them?
We have somebody trying to get in there. I haven't had to do that, Steve. I haven't had to get rid of any. We're just nothing malicious so far.
They're hard to get rid of. Make sure we're doubling.
Call Ghostbusters.
If they don't want to leave, they're hard to get rid of. There was one we had in Holden, where when I lived there, it was very. It was a bad person. Was constantly touching my mother and appearing and grabbing people and putting pillows over their heads and stuff like that. And my mother and I we were really good at getting rid of ghosts. We could not get rid of that one. The way you do it, because I had an issue with my new lake house. It turns out, although I still occasionally see people there. I saw a fisherman the other day, but he didn't stay. But there's a lot of stuff up there. But anyway, you go around and you pray in every room. Pray. You get down on your knees and you pray. You pray that the spirit leave and go to heaven. And generally speaking, that works. And sometimes you can talk to them and tell them to leave. You can say, you need to leave, you need to go to heaven, you don't want to stay here, this is not where you belong. And you can just pray. And that's I've numerous times gotten rid of spirits doing that, except for that one in Holden. We couldn't move that one. It turns out that house is a registered haunted house. You guys can look it up. It's 38 Reservoir Street, Holden, Massachusetts. We didn't know that at the time we lived there. We rented the house. But yeah, that's the usual way to get rid of them.
And it doesn't work. 30 hertz to 20,000 hertz. So and it measures got one 9-volt battery in it. I guess that's pretty good for the price.
And one left. That doesn't work, Steve.
Well, it works for me. It may not work for you, but I've done this many times, and it definitely works.
I'll tell you what happened, though, when I did get on my knees in the living room and prayed for that spirit to leave. I'll tell you one thing that happened.
You got smashed over the head.
No, I found my remote underneath the couch that I've been looking for a month.
He's here every Thursday night. Be sure to tip your waitress.
Could have found a ham and egg sandwich underneath the cushion.
Who the heck is yelling break? Go ahead.
They're talking about some type of ghost up in Massachusetts. Hallelujah. Praise Jesus. Christ in the name of God.
Okay, I wasn't sure. So
That's why
he's one of them. Okay. There you go. You don't hear him anymore.
Yeah, that's why we didn't turn it over to you, because you're heckling us, and we don't want to be heckled, so go away.
Expound him, Steve.
Maybe I can. This one's got a single 9-volt battery in it. It's only $26. It's 30 hertz to 20 kilohertz. That's pretty good.
Set it up, man. Give him a call, and we'll get the equipment, and we'll go down and do it.
There you go. I think I'm going to buy this. $26.50, free shipping.
Bob, go to K2EMF.com. K2EMF.com. I know theirs are good. I know that one works. If you're going to buy one and spend the money, go there.
K2EMF.com?
Yes, correct.
Ken, do you work with anybody who can actually see ghosts? Or is it all people who can measure them?
Ken, you and Steve double.
Oh, okay. Make sure I'm not double. Am I double? Ken, I asked if these people that do the ghosts, can any of them actually see ghosts, or do they just measure them?
Are you talking about the ghost hunters and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, here's the deal with that. In the beginning, the ghost hunters were pretty solid as far as I was concerned. Then it became, I guess, I don't know why, but it always ends up, commercialism or whatever else. And I think they were kind of fudging things and, making it look like they were finding stuff. Although there was a lot of stuff in between it, they found absolutely nothing. So, which happens most of the time. As soon as Grant left from the Ghost Hunters, I think that was one of the reasons he left, because they started doing that. But the early stuff, if you ever get to see the one in the lighthouse, Perry and I were just talking about this, was one of the creepiest ones I've ever seen. They were actually chasing this thing. You could see it on camera, and it actually looked at the camera. That was creepy.
Yeah, make sure I'm not doubling. Yeah, those are the rare ones. It's generally speaking the ones like I've seen and my son Joseph has seen and we've seen together and all that you see. But truthfully, I'll tell you, as somebody who has experienced this, you don't actually want to experience it, because it's not good. The feeling is not good when you see them, because they don't belong there. And it's an extremely disconcerting feeling. So that's probably why most people who chase ghosts can't see. They don't.
Yeah, you were cutting in and out there, Steve. But yeah, I'm not as receptive as other people, so I don't usually see them. Other people sometimes see them, so I wouldn't have a problem with it, even if I did. So, but yeah, I know what you're talking about.
As long as they put the toilet seat down, who cares?
I think you would actually. It's an extremely, I don't know how to describe it. It's a not good feeling. It's almost like an invasion of space that I'm in a bad spot. It's private to you that they are invading. It's a very intrusive feeling. I don't know how to describe it any better. Anyway, I'll get off it. But yeah, that's why people who can see them don't do that, because the feeling is very intrusive.
Yeah, I could understand that, but I still don't think I have a problem, Steve. I would actually try to touch it. I'm that way, man. I am not afraid. I'm just wrong.
Well, it's not fear. It's more of a rejection. It's like you don't want that. It's sort of like, I don't know, something that's very distasteful. That you have a visceral reaction to it.
Yeah, I understand what you're trying to say. Yeah, I can understand that. So maybe I'm blowing smoke, but maybe sometime we'll get to see him. Something. But like I told Perry, we could put the team together. If he's interested in, if Perry wants to do one, you can be on the team there, and we could do the house there. I don't know if your friend would be into it, but we've been looking for another one.
Hey Ken, so the hunting stuff that you're talking about, how do these start? Like who contacts who? What is the complaint? What's the motivation?
I know you said you never
what's
done
the
one.
process?
If you wanted to, we could. We got all the equipment, so if you're interested, why not?
No, I was asking Ken, just in general, how do these hunts start? Like, who contacts you? What's their complaint about what's going on? What are some of the things that people say? Well, this is why there should be, an investigation or a hunt or whatever. And what's the process? Like, what do you do to do these hunts? I'm kind of curious about the background.
All right. Obviously, we didn't do it to do it for everybody else. We kind of did it for ourselves where we first started, okay, with the kids, like I told you. Once you start doing it, people hear about it. And the next thing you know, there's a lot of people out there that don't want to really talk about it or maybe they're afraid to talk about this stuff. So they keep quiet. But once they find somebody who's fairly receptive to them, if they can say something and not be embarrassed that, look, I think I saw a ghost at my house. And if you're talking to somebody that does ghost hunting, you'd be like, really? Oh, that's good. But, if you talk to somebody else, they might be like, well, you better stay off that medication, whatever you're on. That's how it usually starts. So you can get business if you want, or haunts, investigations from all over the place. They start filtering in from everywhere when people hear that you do this stuff, and people are interested in it. They really are. You can't believe how many people are interested in it. There's a lot of non-believers, but we always bring the non-believers with us just to. It's good to have them because they can just sit in the background and just say this, that, and the other thing. But when they see something happen, that's actually when you ask a question, you get a response. They don't laugh as much as they used to. They kind of think about it, and Carrie is that way. But she's been out on a couple now with us. I'm pretty sure that she's thinking about maybe it's not as silly as she thinks it was. She'll say it is, but I don't think so.
They'll think someone's in the background with a transmitter.
Anyway, you wanted to know how you set one up? Is that what you want to know? All right, Clark disappeared. Yeah, well, John is his name. Crap. Alright, now I forget his last name. Anyway, John is his first name. He's got glasses, he's bearded glasses, anyway, but he's right in the South Jersey, mid-South Jersey area by me. I didn't know that there were so many sites named the same thing.
Yeah, there's like South Jersey ghost research. What else is there? Where was I at here? Paranormal Research Society of New Jersey, Southern Jersey Shore Paranormal Research and Investigation, New Jersey Researchers of Paranormal Evidence, New Jersey Paranormal, South Jersey Ghost Research Paranormal Presentation. There's a lot of them.
Oh, no, Ken, I didn't miss a minute of this. I was in the kitchen, but I had the radio on in there. What I was curious about also is, so what do people complain about that's going on, that like inspires these hunts? What do they say that they're seeing or experiencing?
People see things. People hear things. Basically, the bumps in the night, the walking on the stairs, up the stairs at night when they're in bed. Jake has a door. That's why we basically did the hunt at his house. He has a door that he can lock, and if he goes in another room and he comes back in that room, the door is open again. That's one of the reasons we did that one. That was his main reason that he wanted us there to do that one. And obviously I build houses and I know how to fix houses, and I did everything I could on that door to make that open, including jump on the floor, everything. And that door would not open, so that's what he's dealing with on that one door in the living room. So that's how you get it. And people go, hey, I got this wrong at my house, can you come see what this is? Is it just me? Is it a mechanical issue, or is it actually something there that's making his door? Is something opening his door?
Well, if you guys wanted a dark and stormy night for these stories, you got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is dark and stormy. Make sure we're not doubling. WQAX for ID. Let me check something. There's a restaurant near us called Gibbet Hill. There's another one. Look that one up. Gibbet Hill Restaurant in Groton, Mass. And it's named Gibbet Hill because that's where they used to hang all the people. All the bad people were hung there. And that place is real strong. And lots of the wait staff have seen people, they've felt stuff. It's quite the place. I don't like to go there. I will go there, but I will try to turn off and put up my barriers because I don't feel like seeing anything. I just want to have a meal. But yeah, look that one up. Gibbet Hill Farm. That'd be a good one to do some checking out there, Ken.
Yeah, it's usually the problem we have is that you try to, there's a lot of things you have to do in order to get into these places. We have actually one up in Maine that we want to do. Actually chased the family that we know out of the house. That's how bad it was. They actually left their vacation early. They could not stay in the house. It was so bad. That one there, we have to work through them and a realtor and everything else. It gets kind of hard to do them. That's why, like Perry was talking, is a friend of his. It could be an easy in with not a lot of legwork and not a lot of phone calls. I don't really have the time to do all that stuff. I really don't. But if you do it for like John does, he's retired and he really has everything else to do. He can put the legwork in and the phone calls and all this stuff to set the stuff up. But it is a lot of work to get them going. If you're not. It's kind of hard. You got to know who owns the restaurant, so you can call maybe the manager, or you got to find the owner of the restaurant in order to get the permission to get in there. There's a lot of work to do in order to get into these places.
The band went long during your transmission.
Wow, yeah, I hear them coming in. I hear you fine, no problem.
Nope, the band's gone.
Yeah, you guys are still bombing in down here, but it won't be long.
Yeah, Bob, you're still strapping.
Yeah, you are too, Steve, but Ken faded right down to almost. I can hear him, but barely.
Hey, Howard, how you doing?
Just terrific. Working on a new house, and figured I'd pass by this transmitter, and I couldn't resist turning it on. And hello to everybody. Hope you're hearing me okay.
Oh, yeah, you're bombing right in. Very, very good signal. Of course, it sounds great. Is that the 20V2?
Yeah, this is the 20V2. I'm using I don't know if you know of Innovonics. That's the processor I'm using. And I can't get it up above, I guess it's 12 dBu. But that's okay. I'm looking at your monitor right now, and it's looking good. I'm reaching positive peaks of about 110. But if, I shouldn't say this. If I go to maximum power, I can't reach 100% right now. I've got to apparently get this Novonix up at least another 5 dB or so.
Yeah, you may have to put an intermediate amplifier in there. Yeah, good to hear you, Howard. Yeah, you're doing great. It sounds great. And there's a bunch of people in here. I'm sure they're all hearing you too. I'm just about destinated at my my house here. So VE2AED, and scoop up some of the other guys here. This is WA1QIX remote control.
Yeah, he sounds good here too, Steve. Yeah, I just bought some ATC caps, 100Cs. 1,500 volts, 470 puff, $5 a piece. That's cheap.
Yeah, you got those on eBay, right?
Yeah, the guy's got 4 left. I think Bobby's gonna get them.
And the band is going along. All right, guys, take care. It's been fun. Ken, Bob, Steve, and good evening to you, Howard, Clark, Rob, and anyone else who is on frequency 7.3. I'm sure we'll talk to you guys again tomorrow evening. This is W3 MMR in southeastern Pennsylvania.
Yep, 7.3 here, Perry. We'll catch it. Yeah, these are 1,500 volts, Steve. These are good ones.
Yep. Although the lower voltage ones I like better because they can handle more current. Make sure I'm not doubling.
Well, these are the same size.
But, yeah, very good.
The ones that you get.
Very good. Well, I have the sign. I'm just driving up my driveway here, so I'll say best of 7.3s. Clark, it was a usual great paranormal and haunted night, or whatever you actually call it, but it was good. Good information there from everybody who participated. WA1QIX remote control will be signing.
All right, see you, Steve. Thanks for your contribution. Zed pulled through with surprise stories here. I had no idea he was into this stuff for real. Wow. Wait till next year.
Clark, what's the official name of this net?
Oh, I don't know. It doesn't really have an official name. I don't know. The Extraterrestrial and Supernatural Net.
That's it. All right. It's got to label the YouTube video. I'll see you guys. I'm out.
All right. Catch you later. What great stories.